Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are checking out the now former Macy's store at the Oakland Mall in Troy, Michigan. When this store got announced for closure in January 2025, I made it a priority to check out this particular location. I don't often document department stores as much anymore on the channel unless if it's something really interesting. And this was one of those interesting department stores that I had to document. Not only for its historical significance, but also because it's easily one of the coolest department stores I ever stepped foot in. So let's go ahead and look back at the history of this particular location, but also discuss why this Macy's store was so special and unique. Now, the Macy's at Oakland Mall originally opened up as a Hudson's department store. For those who don't know, Hudson's was a local department store within the Detroit region, founded by Joseph Lothane Hudson. I hope I pronounced that right. He opened his first department store in the area in 1881, and it grew into a massive iconic department store around the Detroit region, as they would expand all across Michigan. Now, the story of this particular Hudson's location wouldn't begin until the late 1960s, when this Hudson's store would open up as an original anchor to the Oakland Mall in 1968. This particular location would be the company's flagship mall location and would host over 440,000 square feet of retail space. These chandeliers that you are seeing here in the fragrance department actually came from the original downtown Hudson's location after the store closed. The majority of these chandeliers were relocated to several Hudson's locations, including the Oakland Mall store, as you can see. Now, with the Oakland Mall Hudson's being the flagship mall store, it would host several amenities that made this location stand out. It would feature their basement store, which would feature many bargain-priced items, as well as a restaurant which had a balcony that overlooked into the mall. That restaurant had several different names over the years, so it's going to be impossible to list it out in the video, but I will say it last operated as the Lakeshore Grill. On top of that, it featured a wide variety of departments, with all of the merchandise spaced out and well organized. As we walk through the men's department, or as they called it here, the men's store, it's worth mentioning that, in my opinion, this particular Macy's location had a much larger men's department compared to other modern-day department stores and other Macy's locations. It felt like there was much more of a larger variety of clothing to choose from. Shortly after this particular Hudson's opened, the Dayton Company out of Minneapolis would acquire the JL Hudson Company, and in 1969, they would merge into the Dayton-Hudson Corporation, which is known today as the Target Corporation. However, both Dayton's and Hudson's would continue to operate under their known names in their regions and existing locations, as the Oakland Mall Hudson's would continue to operate as Hudson's for many more years. However, the Hudson's name would disappear in 2001, as all Hudson's and Dayton's department store locations would be rebranded to Chicago-based Marshall Field's that year. This was done as the Target Corporation aimed to consolidate all of their department stores down to a single, well-known name. However, Target would then sell all of the Marshall Field's department stores in 2004 to the May Company. Well, we've already made it through 2 of the 4 floors, so let's take the elevator all the way up to the top floor so we can explore the final 2 floors we haven't seen. Now, I don't know how it was the entire liquidation sale, but it is worth noting that during my visit, many of the escalators along with one of the 2 elevators were broken. In 2005, Federated Department Stores would acquire the May Company, and as a result, all May and Federated owned department stores would be rebranded to Macy's. The Marshall Fields location at Oakland Mall would be converted to a Macy's in 2006. This was probably the emptiest part of the store during this visit. There really wasn't much over here other than a small portion of outdoor furniture and area rugs that the liquidation company brought in. This was really the only part of the store that actually had water damage, which is common in a lot of places, so I'm not going to fault them too much for that. But seeing that alongside the store closing signs was kind of depressing, to be honest. To wrap up the history of this store, this particular Macy's would operate for just under 2 decades. The Lakeshore Grill restaurant would close in 2020 following the COVID pandemic. And although this did operate as a Macy's for quite some time, the store would inevitably announce closure in January 2025, along with 64 other locations, which included 3 other stores in Michigan. The closure of the store was announced during a plan for Macy's to close about 150 locations across the US over the next few years. The store officially closed its doors for the final time on March 23, 2025, and towards the end of this video, you will see footage from that final day of operation. Now, before I get into my personal thoughts, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. I didn't show it too much in this video, but you will see it when I show the end cards. Down on the first floor, there was a giant plaque that hosted the names of World War II veterans that worked at Hudson's. Thankfully, this plaque was relocated to the Somerset Collection Macy's location. It is great to hear that that plaque has been preserved. Now, you may be asking yourself, why did I drive 3 hours just to document a Macy's store? Well, I'm sure you answered that question throughout the majority of this video. This Macy's was not like most others, as although the store appears to have been very lightly renovated, this store still retains a ton of charm that goes back to the Hudson's days. It has a ton of unique flair that most other department stores don't have. Most modern department stores are very bland and open, and you can pretty much see across the entire store from one section. But here, every section of the store has its own theme and design to it. Hell, even parts of the store have their own floor, like the men's section and the home department. That's something you don't see often in modern department stores. And it's what made this particular Macy's store so special, because Macy's didn't even touch up much of this. And it's really sad to see that this location is no longer open. But with the Somerset Collection store so close by and in a much more healthy mall than this mall is, I really can't blame Macy's for their decision. Although it does suck to know that this store is no longer open, I'm glad I was at least able to document it and see it when I was able to. Wow, we've really made it through the entire store now. Yeah, this store was a behemoth. This entire store could have been the size of an entire mall alone, which is why this store ended up getting its own video and why I didn't include it with the mall footage. Now, as we begin to wind down, I do want to showcase the footage I was able to grab during the final day of operation. I didn't take too much footage as on the last day, only the first floor was open, and there really wasn't much left, so I only snagged a few quick clips on my phone. But with that being said, my next video will be of the Oakland Mall itself, and once it's posted, I will have it linked in the description of this video, so make sure you go check that out if you're interested in seeing the mall itself. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap up my commentary here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe down below for more mall and retail content. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay awesome, and have a blessed day. I will see you all in my next video.